Planet Comicon 2016. Is everybody having a good time? All right, before we get started, just a few reminders. Exits are in the back, no flash photography, and when you step up to the microphone to ask your one question, have it ready. Please don't ask for hugs or autographs. And now, Planet Comicon is thrilled to have our moderator for the Stan Lee panel. You know her from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Bring it on. And now, Geek Nation, put your hands together and give a big Planet Comicon welcome for Claire Kramer.
Hey, everybody. Welcome, welcome to the main stage for Planet Comicon 2016. Are you guys having a good time? Yeah? I'm having a great time, and I just have one question for you guys today. Do we have any Marvel fans out there? Yeah? Well, our next guest is such a huge draw and such an inspiration that your own mayor wanted to stop by and say hi. So it is my honor to introduce Mayor Sly James. Welcome.
Good afternoon. You know what? Today is a pretty special day in Kansas City and for Planet Comicon. We're excited and honored to welcome such a distinguished guest to our town. Every day in this city and in this world, we come across superheroes working to make a difference in our lives. Mothers, fathers, grandparents, firemen, policemen, people in the military, all of those people are heroes in their own way. At the same time, and for many of us, including most of us in this room, we remain enamored with superheroes of a different kind. Those with special powers and a penchant to save us from the rigors of ordinary life. Now, the man I'm about to introduce has spent over 60 years creating and bringing to life those superheroes. And something I learned from him today about his career in the Army and how he invented a jingle for the Army Finance Corps, brilliant, brilliant man. So from Spider-Man to the Incredible Hulk to the X-Men to Iron Man and my personal favorite Thor to the Fantastic Four and hundreds more, Mr. Stan Lee is responsible for co-creating all of them. And I speak for millions of fans around the world who have been entertained and inspired by the countless creations of the marvelous Stan Lee. So today we get to welcome him to Kansas City. This is a city that is passionate in the arts and innovation and creative opportunity. So let's watch a real brief clip of how great this man's career has actually been.
Stan Lee at your service. Look at this. There was Omaha Beach one. Stop trying to scare us. Come on. Larry!
Well, basically a child.
No, any kid could imagine he's Spider-Man. Get a job in Korea, they said. Did it work? I thought he'd be taller. Jagger and me, we had a running cut. We had the most. Stanley?
Yeah, nice to meet you.
No, really, I'm Stanley.
Created Spider.
And Iron Man. Mark Twain of comic books. Egg. Ow!
Fantastic. It's only fitting. It's only fitting that today, May 21st, 2016, we present Mr. Stan Lee with a proclamation on behalf of the city of Kansas City, Missouri, for his achievements and dedication to the literary arts. Whereas Whereas Stan Lee, Chairman Emeritus of Marvel, godfather of the comic book industry, and who is celebrating a career that has spanned more than 60 years, is in Kansas City, Missouri on behalf of Planet Comicon. And whereas Mr. Lee's countless contributions to the comic book and entertainment industry have brought enjoyment to millions of fans across the globe, and whereas Mr. Lee's dedication to the written word and commitment to excellence in literacy through the Stan Lee Foundation has inspired thousands of gifted writers and artists who have touched the lives of millions throughout the world. Whereas Mr. Lee's legacy of teaching literacy, writing, and arts enables the Stan Lee Foundation to contribute guidance, leadership, and resources to organizations that share in his passion to cultivate quality and excellence in these fields. Whereas Mr. Lee's famous co-creations include Spider-Man, The Incredible Hulk, X-Men, The Fantastic Four, Iron Man, and hundreds of other characters that have touched our lives through diverse forms of entertainment. And whereas Mr. Lee's endless commitment to his legions of fans has led him across and around the globe and here to Kansas City, Missouri, to Planet Comicon, Kansas City's largest pop culture and comic book convention. Whereas Kansas Cityans have a profound appreciation for the arts, including the start of Walt Disney's career at the Kansas City Art Institute, and know that Mr. Lee's creations and contributions will live forever as inspiration and a reminder for us all to dream ever upward. Now, therefore, I, Sylvester James, the mayor of Kansas City, Missouri, on behalf of the citizens of this great city and the City Council, do hereby proclaim May 21, 2016 as Stan Lee Day in Kansas City, Missouri.
All right, stop kidding around. Before we get started, I want to congratulate you on having one of the best mayors I've ever met in any city anywhere in this country. Where is he? Sly, you're the greatest.
Thank you very much.
Okay. And now we got to talk about comics. I'd rather talk about politics because, as you know, I'm very influential in politics. And who's in charge of this thing?
Well, I think we're going to
Claire?
do a photo op with all you guys. Would you guys like that? Yeah? Okay.
What is this?
So what we
that's-
need...
That's just my notes.
Oh,
Okay, Stan, you come with me. We're going to do a photo
I
op.
love when a pretty girl says, "Come with me."
I
Where are we going?
like to boss you around. We're going to face this way. You guys need to stand up and cheer Excelsior. Well done. Well done. And a big round of applause for Chris Jackson, the organizer, founder, and owner of the convention. Stan, you can come sit right here.
I have to sit? Okay.
I'm going to make you sit because you get a little rowdy, you know. And
Well,
Mayor,
first of all,
you
I
are
wanna
you
tell
are
you-
welcome to join us for this Q&A. We would love to have
not
you.
gonna tell you.
If you prefer.
This day is a fraud. And I'm going to tell you why. It's supposed to be a big holiday, right? I understand tomorrow the schools will be open. The mailman will still be delivering the mail. I'd like to think for the whole week everything would stop and all you'd be doing is showing my cameos and important things. So see what you can do, Sly, okay?
I've got just one major question for you. You've had a long and distinguished career. I'd just like to know if you can name one moment, that one glorious moment where you feel like everything that you had done had been done absolutely correctly. And that's the moment that you'll always remember and that others will always remember about you. Do you have that moment in mind?
I've never done anything correctly for a whole moment. I make more mistakes. I just realized I talked about the schools being open tomorrow. Tomorrow is Sunday. It's got nothing to do with it.
But the School of Stanley is going to be open tomorrow.
This
right?
is the reason in my hometown they don't let me make speeches. I can only go out of town where they don't know me that well and they give me a microphone. So what are we talking about now?
Is there
One moment in your career where you were like, yes, I did everything right. This is the pinnacle of all my work.
Well, if I hadn't made that dumb remark about Sunday, I would say right here now. You can't do better than this.
It's Stan Lee Day. What do you guys say? Thank you, Mayor. Thank you.
Boy, wait till I tell my wife about this. I had a whole day.
Hey.
I'm lucky to get a minute at home.
Stan, we all love you. This hour is about you getting to connect with your fans. We know your time is limited, so let's get right to it. I know people are
Did you say this whole hour? This is going to be an hour?
well, not anymore. It's only 35
But
minutes.
what if the questions are difficult? An hour? You're going to help me, though.
I'll help you.
I'll make believe I know the answers and you whisper them. Okay.
Okay, I'll say them confidently. Yes, let's go right to it. Do we have our first question from the audience?
Thank you, Mr. Lee. There's children around today who love Spider-Man, the Hulk, all your creations, who will be around in the 22nd century, and they'll still remember your works. How long do you think your creations will last for?
Forever.
Yay!
Listen, you have to excuse me. Even though I look to you like the most perfect human being you could ever see, I do not hear as well as I used to, so I have trouble hearing your questions, which is why this gorgeous creature is going to repeat them to me. So I didn't want you to think we have something going on here. We're keeping secrets.
Stan.
She just will tell me what it was you said, and then I'll try to get out of answering it as best I can.
But Stan, of course we have something going on, but that's,
Well, that's not
that's
for
a
them
whole-
to know.
Right, okay. That's a great question. Thank you for
Thank
kicking
you.
off our panel. Next.
Stan, my name is Brady Thompson. So glad you're here in KC. Here's my question. Of all the characters you've created, if you could have one of their superpowers, what would it be and why?
You know, I always used to say the greatest power would be luck. Because if you were lucky, then nothing bad could happen. A villain would shoot at you, the bullet would miss. You know, you're lucky. And what happened was they heard me say that in England, and they started a new television series. It's called Stan Lee's Mr. Lucky. And it's a big hit. It'll be coming over here soon. So I would have to say luck, but I realize our characters don't have that, and that doesn't exactly answer your question. So I'm rambling on, and you're getting angry. And what power would I want if I could have a power? Well, it's not a power, but I think I'd like to be Tony Stark, because he's got all the money in the world. He can have any girl he wants. Yeah, I'll take Tony Stark.
Thank you so much.
Great question. Thank you.
How about a great answer?
It
She
was a-
always says a great question. She never says to me how terrific my answers are.
Well, you just wait, Stan. You just wait. Yes.
Hi, Stan. Thank you for being here at Planet Comicon. It means a lot to all of us. My question is, out of all of the movies where you've been a cameo, what was your favorite cameo appearance?
That's hard to say. I'm my biggest fan. I love them all. Is it my imagination, or are all the questions coming from over there?
It's not your
Is
imagination.
that section the only section where they have curiosity?
That's the knowledgeable.
Nobody there
yeah.
cares?
That's the knowledge-hungry section.
Oh, is that the way it works? Oh, okay. Now, the question was, of all my cameos, you know, I think I got a kick out of the one, was it in Thor, where Thor is drinking something, and I say, I want a drink. And he says, no, it's too strong for you. But I drink it, and in the next scene, they're carrying me out. And I'm going, Excelsior. Now, the reason, you may not be aware of this, but the reason it's my favorite cameo, I think it's the only one where I had 2 scenes. I'm waiting for them to give me the whole movie, but that'll take a while.
Thank you. Great answer.
Why are you surprised?
Yes.
Stanley, do you know how to whip a nay-nay?
How to whip? What's Mano?
You got to explain that.
What is
Okay,
Mano?
it's from the song, Watch Me Whip. Okay, watch me nay-nay. Okay.
You're teaching him. That was good. Do it again. Here, watch the monitor.
Watch me whip. Okay, watch me nay-nay. Okay. Whip.
No, I haven't done that for the past hour or 2.
Thank you.
Hey, Stan. My name's Joseph. Cross that off the bucket list. I was wondering, where did all the inspiration for like everything you've like created, like Spider-Man and stuff, where did the inspiration come from?
I heard, I was wondering. I lost the rest of it.
Where did your inspiration for Spider-Man, for the Avengers, where does the inspiration for your characters come from?
Greed. I wanted to keep my job, and if I didn't come up with some superheroes, I might have gotten fired. So I had to do it. You know, you do what you got to do.
Thank you. Yes, hi.
Who would be your favorite character that you've created?
Yeah, I guess if I had to pick a favorite, I would pick Spider-Man. Spider-Man has become so well known throughout the world. He's like Mickey Mouse used to be. You could show Mickey Mouse anywhere and they'd know who he is. You go to any country in Asia, in Africa, and anywhere, and they all know Spider-Man. They all have Spider-Man toys and stuff. So I have to go. I might not even like him, but he has to be my favorite. But I do like him.
Thank you. Did you like Tom Holland's performance?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Me too.
I could have done better if I were younger, but what the hell.
Yes.
Stan, it's a great honor to speak to you. My question is, for your age, you're so youthful. People like 3-4 decades younger than you acts a lot older. And what's your secret for living as great as Stan Lee does at such a long time?
I can't tell you because I intend to sell that soon as a package. No, it's no secret. I think if you do the work you enjoy and you're with people that you like, it's not bad. How can you not have fun? And, you know, I'm so lucky. All of my friends are talented. They're fun to be with. And that keeps you going. I had a dull friend once, but I got rid of him. I just said, you're not my friend anymore. You're too dull.
Thank you.
Not true. I never said that.
I can't picture you saying
Most
that.
of my answers aren't true. I'd rather say something funny than be true. So I'm a lousy person as a kid. Don't make notes because none of this is right.
Yes.
Do you see yourself being a couple hundred years from now being in the same category as Shakespeare?
Yeah, he was good too.
That's all I wanted to know.
Forgive me, Shakespeare, I had to say it.
Yes, hi.
Hi. All right, make sure I get in. First off, thank you for coming to the con. And my question is, of all the characters that have come since you mostly stopped making characters, which is the one that makes you go, crap, I should have come up with that myself?
Yes, but I forgot its name. Oh, I know, I remember. Jack Kirby created a villain for DC. I think he called it Darkseid.
Darkseid. Great character.
I thought that was a good name for a villain. I hate to think of other people coming up with good names that I didn't come up with. So I was always a little annoyed I hadn't thought of it first. But mostly I'm happy with our characters, and if other people want to do inferior characters, that's their business.
Hey, if you're gonna be jealous of something, be jealous of the best, right?
Say that again?
I said, if you're gonna be jealous of something, be jealous of the king, right?
That's right.
So what was it? Say it slower. If someone's going to be jealous. Well, that's very nice, thank you. Let me ask a question. Have all you people been doing nothing for the past few days but dreaming up questions to ask?
Yes.
It's amazing. I always wonder, so many people think of so many. If I had to ask questions, I'd probably say, can I get a raise in pay? And after that, I'd run out of questions. I wouldn't know it. You people are wonderful. Anyway, go ahead.
They're passionate about you, Stan.
Wow. I wish girls were.
Oh,
Yes.
Hi, Stan. First off, I just want to thank you from the bottom of every person's heart who've ever felt like a minority, whether it be because of their ethnicity, their race, gender, sexual orientation, through your characters, the mutants, everybody. Just what you've created, you gave us something to relate to growing up. So thank you.
Thank you for giving minorities and people who not necessarily didn't fit in something to relate to within your characters.
Well, you're very welcome, and it should be something that everybody does, and it shouldn't even require a thank you, because it should be common procedure. Wait till you see our Black Panther movie.
Which brings me to my question. With all the technology we have that's growing to create and share our arts, our self-expression, what is like a classic creative technique that you think we should never lose? Whether it be sketching, storyboarding, what is a classic creative tool that we should always practice no matter how much technology?
Well, the one thing we should never lose is our instinctive way to tell a story interestingly, with a good moral. If you can do a story that excites people and makes them want to read it and makes them want to read what comes next and makes them love the characters, and it also, in some way, makes them a little better person, it gives them a little role model to emulate. It gives them something to look at and say, I wish I could be like that. I remember when I was a kid, my God was Errol Flynn, the actor. I wanted to be like he was in all the roles he played. I would leave a theater, I was about 12 years old. I'd leave the theater after an Errol Flynn movie, and I'd be looking for some little girl that a bully might be picking on so that I could defend her, because that was the feeling I got from the Errol Flynn movies. And any stories or characters or anything that could make young people feel like that, I think is good. And I think I'm not probably answering the question. How did I get off on that? I
No,
tend to
thank
get
you. No, you
sidetracked
did.
by myself. I'm sorry.
I think you were. The answer is never lose the art of storytelling.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for saving me.
You're welcome. Oh, the mayor would like to say something.
Tradition, military, as you know, challenge coin.
Oh, for service.
And this is mine. And your service has been so exemplary that you deserve 100 of them. But I
So
actually.
you owe me 99. I'll come back.
I actually gave it to you because the next time we meet each other, if I put mine down on the bar and you don't have yours, you're buying all the drinks. And I'm looking forward to it.
I'll have mine. I'll have mine. All the best.
Thank you.
This is one great guy.
Thank you, my friend. You take care of yourself.
Means a lot to me. All right, let's see what anybody here can say that's as dramatic as that.
Hi.
Hi. What is your favorite movie that you've ever, like?
Was that it?
What the favorite movie you've ever
Cameoed
written?
in.
What is it?
What is your favorite movie that you've ever cameoed in?
You know, I did so many cameos, I don't even remember what movies they were all in. But I'll just take a flyer. I'll say the Avengers, because you need an answer. I can't remember what my Avengers cameo was, but you do need an answer.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What would happen if we ran out of, if nobody else came to ask a question, and we're sitting here, and they're sitting there, and nobody asks a question, we wouldn't know what to do, would we?
I have a lot of questions for you that I never get to because these guys are so
Well,
knowledgeable.
why don't you all give her a chance? Everybody go
No.
home. We're going to talk about questions. No, I'm sorry. You go ahead.
Go ahead.
All right. Hello, Mr. Lee. As you know, the recent Deadpool movie was a huge success. And I hear that they are going to be casting the role of Cable for the sequel soon. And so my question was, would you be willing to try out for the role of Cable?
Would I be willing? I'd give anything. I keep wondering when they see how good I am in the cameos, why doesn't some idiot say, let's use them in a real role? In fact, there's a lot of you here, if each one of you wrote a letter, we'll talk later, we'll work it out.
I think there should be a Stan Lee movie where all the superheroes make cameos.
See why I like her?
Right? Be good. Hi, Spidey.
Hello, Mr. Lee. Oh no, I'm on screen. My question to you is, what is your favorite Spider-Man story that you've ever written and why?
Actually, the first one, the introduction where he became Spider-Man. I answer that for two reasons. One, it probably is my favorite. And two, I don't remember all the others, so that makes I kind of like the one where Captain Stacy died. And as he was dying, he said to Spider-Man, "Peter, look after my daughter." And Spider-Man realized, because he said Peter, that he had always known who Spider-Man was, but never said anything. And I thought that was a very dramatic thing. But I am not good at what is my favorite anything, because I don't have a good memory, and I don't remember them all. And even more than that, I am my biggest fan. I love everything I do. It's hard to tell what's the best.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yes, hi.
Hi there, big honor. I was just going to ask if there's ever like a biographical film made about your life, who would you want to play you, and would you want to make a cameo?
Well, believe it or not, a couple of weeks ago, I was talking, I can't mention his name, you all know him. He's a major star, and he was saying he'd like to do a movie of my life and play me. And I thought he was kidding, but then he called me a couple days later and said, can we get together and discuss it? So I'm waiting. I can't tell you who it was. You'd know him. And I can't quite believe this, but you know what? If it happens that he's going to do it, I will make sure that you people will be the first to know. I'll send you a note about it.
Thank you very much.
That's awesome.
I don't know. It seems to me now that Clark Gable is dead, I don't know who could play me.
I don't know.
We'll see.
I don't know. It's a toughie. Yes.
First of all, I never thought I'd get to see you. Whew, thanks for coming out to the Midwest. My question is, with Kansas City being one of the last of your public appearances, and I imagine you're probably gearing up for retirement, do you think anyone could fill your shoes over at Marvel?
Oh, my shoes are being filled pretty well at Marvel right now. They've got the most talented people you could ever find. In fact, I'm just living on credit for what I did in the past. I'm not really running Marvel, you know. I'm there, but I'm not the guy who writes the stories anymore. I don't do the editing anymore. And as far as the movies are concerned, I do my little cameo, and they say, okay, Stan, thanks very much. There's your car. Get the hell out of here. Let us do the movie.
You know what? But there would be no Marvel if it weren't for Stan. So.
Thank you.
Well, they do treat me nicely.
Yeah, thank you. Do we have another question? Okay, so and if you do have a question, line up over here in the aisle, everyone.
Wait a minute. If you're talking to one person and you say, if you have a question, line up, one person can't line up. You need at least two people to line up.
I was talking to all y'all out
But
here.
they're just sitting there. Nobody's lining
No,
up.
look, now there's a mass,
they're starting to line up. That means we're going to be here a while longer.
There's a massive run to the mic.
Really?
As there should be. And now she's going to screen that question there.
All these people spending all this time thinking of questions to ask. It boggles the mind. All right, let's go. Let's get there.
Yeah, there he is. Hi.
Hey. Stanley, I wanted to ask how important the Cold War culture during the Silver Age was important on Marvel Comics.
Say that one more time.
How important the Cold War was on Marvel Comics during the Silver Age.
Actually, everything that happens in the world is an influence on Marvel Comics. So the Cold War was a big influence, but the Hot War was, the Depression was, prosperity, everything that happened when you're a writer, everything that happens in the real world affects you in some way. And you say, my God, I'll do a story about that, or I'll take that angle and make it part of what I'm working on. So it's hard to say how much we were affected by anything, but you can believe we are affected by everything that happens.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hi.
Hi. Hi, Stan. I'm Dan. Nice to meet you. My question is actually pretty much the opposite of Mayor Sly's question. What I'm really wondering is, over the impressive span of career that you have, what was the most difficult time that you had? What was the hardest, most gut-wrenching time of your career?
understand the question. I'm trying to think of the answer. Well, I think one of the most difficult things was trying to get my boss to let me do Spider-Man as a strip. I don't know, did I ever tell you how we got that strip in, or how it came to be?
It's a great story, so tell it.
All right. We had done the Fantastic Four, and it sold very well. And I don't remember what came after that. Maybe it was the Hulk or the X-Men, and that did well. So my publisher walked into my office and he said, Stan, I want you to come up with another superhero, because we seem to be, we've hit on something here. So I had to come up with something else if I wanted to keep my job. And I couldn't imagine, what else can I do? And then I saw a fly crawling on the wall. And I thought, boy, it would be cool to have a character who could stick to walls like a fly. No, I'm not telling you the truth. I don't think they had the word cool in those days. I probably said it would be groovy if I could have a character stick to the wall. Anyway, I liked that idea. And then I said, well, what'll I call him? And I thought, Insect Man? Nah. Mosquito Man? Nah. Spider-Man. It sounded so dramatic. And then I figured I'll make him a teenager, and that'll make him different than all the other characters. And then I would give him a lot of personal problems, and that'll make him totally different than the average superhero. So I was so excited, I ran into my boss's office and I told him my idea. And he said to me, Stan, that is the stupidest idea I have ever heard. He said, first of all, people hate spiders, so you can't call a hero Spider-Man. You can't make him a teenager, because teenagers can only be sidekicks. And you say you want him to have personal problems? Stan, he's a superhero. They don't have personal problems. Well, I walked out of the office with my tail between my legs. I was beat. And I kept thinking, because I liked the idea, I kept thinking, how can I do it? And finally, we had a magazine we were going to kill called Amazing Fantasy. It hadn't been selling well. Now, when you're going to kill a magazine, nobody cares what you put in the last issue, because it's going to die. So just for fun, I put Spider-Man there, and I featured him on the cover. Well, a month later, when the sales figures came in, my idiot publisher ran into my office. Stan, do you remember that character Spider-Man that we both liked so much? I swear, why don't we do him as a series? And we did, but that, to me, getting Spider-Man done was about the toughest thing that I ever had to face when I was working at the company. Whew, sorry it's such a long story.
It's a great one. Thank you. Hi.
Hey, Stan the man. How's it going? So my friend Brody wanted me to ask about the thing, something about what is he made of or whatever, but I'm not going to ask that because I think you already answered that one. Which one of the X-Men do you relate to the most?
Well, I don't know that I relate to any. Oh, wait a minute. Of course, Professor X, because he's so smart.
That's what I thought.
Nice. Yes, hi.
Hi, Stan. Just wanted to say, when I was watching cartoons as a kid, my favorite part was the introductions you gave for the Fantastic Four cartoon. And I was wondering how, I've never seen that in another show. How did you get to do the introduction for that, and why haven't you done any others?
Well, maybe we should go back to that idea.
I really
a little
liked
more
it.
work for me. I like it. All right, and I'll credit you with it if I do more intros.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hello, I'm Aiden, and my question is, what's your favorite Avengers story and why?
I honestly don't know. I can't remember them all. I am the worst guy in the world for favorites. I like everything I've done. In case I haven't mentioned this to you, I am my biggest fan.
That's not true. We're
people-
your biggest fans.
Well, they're not as big as me. You could pick any Avengers story you want, and I would tell you it's my favorite. I don't remember all of them. Maybe the first one, where they were all getting together to become the Avengers. Yeah, I'll pick that one. How the Avengers were born, because I remember that. I don't remember the others.
What was your favorite Avengers story?
I like all of them. I can't pick a favorite.
But you want him to pick a favorite?
Yes,
but you
I
can't
do.
pick a favorite?
No,
All
I
right.
can't.
All of a
Thank
sudden,
you.
they're having a conversation, and I'm out of it.
Thank you. Thank you.
welcome.
Hi.
I have a question. If you could make one more superhero, who would it be?
Forgive me, I was looking at her legs. I got hypnotized for a minute. I'll get back over here. Hi.
Okay.
I don't know, dear. I'd have to think about it. Nobody has asked me to do a new. Marvel cannot get all the superheroes they have on the screen so soon. We still have to do Doctor Strange. I told you we're doing the Black Panther. We're gonna eventually do the Inhumans, and some more that I can't even think of at the moment. So I haven't any ideas right now for a new super. Oh wait, I do. I have another little company called POW Entertainment. It's spelled P-O-W, and of course you've all figured out it stands for Purveyors of Wonder. And at POW Entertainment, we're working on a movie now called The Annihilator. We're going to do it in China, and it'll be out in about a year, and you're going to love that. That's a new superhero. And we have 3 other new ones, but I can't tell you the names because they're secret. So I do have others, but The Annihilator is the only one I can mention. And a year from now, or a year and a half from now, when it comes out, I want you to remember you heard about it here, and I want you to say, wow, was he right? What a great movie.
Thank you, sweetie. Yes. Hi.
Hello, it's nice to meet you. If you could change anything about your career and go into the past, what would you change?
You guys are all about the tough questions today.
Well, all right, now I'll be serious for a moment. I'll tell you the biggest mistake I ever made as a business decision. Long before Marvel became as big as it was, my publisher, the brilliant guy who didn't like Spider-Man, remember? He was going to sell the company. He had an offer to sell Marvel, and he eventually did. And he came to me and he said, Stan, the people who want to buy Marvel say they won't buy it unless we have you under contract. They want to know that you're going to come with the company. So would you sign this contract? So I had a lot of friends who were businessmen, and I told them about it, and they said, don't dare sign it. tell him you'll only sign it if he'll give you $1 million or something. And I said, no, he's a friend of mine. I've worked for him for years. I can't make a demand like that. I'll sign it. He'll take care of me. To make a long story short, I signed the contract. This other company bought Marvel, and that publisher never gave me 1 cent for signing the contract. It taught me that I am not the world's best businessman. And I would say it's really the only mistake that I know. I must have made a lot of mistakes, but this is the only one I know of. I should never have signed that unless I said to him, what'll you give me for doing it? But I wasn't a what'll you give me kind of guy. And that's why I sit here and I do panels that I get paid $10 for. And, I need the money.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we have time for one more question.
Boy, it better be a good one.
It better be a good one, no pressure.
Oh, well, I had some consultation on this question, so hopefully. The question is, when did you first realize you became famous, and what was that like for you?
I remember it was a few years ago. I got an offer from a company, a telephone company. I can't remember the name now, a little telephone company. And they said they'd give me $10,000 if I would fly to Baltimore, I think, where their headquarters was, and address their salesmen and tell their salesmen how to be better salesmen. I never thought of myself as a salesman, but they said they had been reading about me and so forth. And that was the first, and that was years ago. That was the first time I ran home to my wife and I said, Joni, I think I'm famous.
That's amazing. Did you do it?
Yeah, I did it. Hey, that money was good.
Hey, nothing like Stan Lee coming in to pep up the team, right? You guys, thank you so much. This has been an amazing hour. Stan, you're absolutely amazing. We love you. Give it up for Stan Lee.
Thank you.
Just walk up by yourself right here and just say something.
I got to tell you, you are the greatest group of people anybody could ever address. This is the greatest city. I don't care if Dorothy said we're not in Kansas anymore. I don't care about that. This city is wonderful. You people are great. Thank you for such a great reception. And to pay you back, I'm going to make sure that we do the best damn movies you have ever seen. So don't miss a one. Thank you. Oh, and before I forget, Excelsior!
Excelsior!